And welcome to Lasorda Legacy Park for the Baseball Lifestyle 101 World Series. I'm Frank Labella alongside Nick Labella in your booth today for this matchup between the Finest and the Giants. The away the outstretched glove of Muratori. And that'll be the first hit here for the Finest. Some 14U baseball. We just called a 13U game the game before between the Beast and the 5-star.
Those of you who are still with us, welcome back.
Yeah, it was about an 8-run lead to end that game. I believe it was 13-5. The Beast won that game. Comeback was brewing, but it did not come successful. That was a long game, too, about 2 hours, a little bit more. Pick-off attempt here by Driscoll. The Finest. Royce Williams standing on second base after the stolen base. Another pick-off attempt there by Driscoll. Waiting there at second is Muratori for that one. But in safely is Williams. An hour 50 game timer on all of these games. Already 5 minutes into this game. Driscoll with the windup. That catches the outside corner for Driscoll's first strikeout. Sends Mejia home looking. We saw a lot of looking Ks in that first game. Both teams were watching the outside corner strike get called. New umpires here, but let's look at that one back. That one paints the corner of the plate. And now up the other Mejia, the center fielder, Brandon. Good recovery there by Driscoll after the leadoff single, who found his way on second. That one comes in around the belt for strike one.
We saw in that last game the emphasis on the outside part of the plate in the strike zone. That one caught on the inside part of the plate. I wonder if we're going to see almost like a reverse.
That looking K caught more of the outside of the plate as well. Finest with a nice color combo, what we usually call the cotton candy combo, the light blue and a lot of pink going on around the belt. Williams has it on his high socks. So 1-1 count here. As I said, the skies are clearing up a little bit. The gray clouds are starting to move out a little, and the sunshine's coming through for this 12:30 start. That one's low, but running on the pitch was Williams. Gunning down to third was Trevino, and they got him. Looked like a good jump there from Williams, but Trevino came up popping. And what a dart down to third. So quickly 2 outs here despite the leadoff single, and Williams was chopped down at third. The second runner we've seen caught stealing today. In the first inning of the last game, we actually saw gunned at second by Green in the first inning of the 5-star.
I mean, after stealing second, he thought he could just do it again and take third.
Yeah, it's obviously a much harder base to steal, that third base area. It's a 3-1 count now on Brandon Mejia, the center fielder. And that one's just outside. The first walk stranded here by Driscoll. In comes the cleanup hitter, right fielder Christos Sofronos. Now again being held on at first base. Flannery on that now. That pitch had some serious velocity behind it, but that one came in just a little inside. hearing word that we are going to have some action in our booth this game with some interviews from players and coaches and whatnot. I think a balk was just called on Driscoll because they're going to let Mejia advance. I didn't quite catch the movement from Driscoll.
I didn't personally catch it either. I'm not too sure.
But Mejia is granted a free second base.
Puts a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
We'll see if they try to test Strevino again. They won't even have to because that one gets to the backstop. And now there's a man on third with a 2-0 count.
Happened quick.
Another good color combo on the other side of things. The Giants with kind of a Braves, navy blue and red.
See, I immediately went to the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, that's probably closer, actually. I forget the Guardians have that kind of navy vibe to it.
That was the first thing I thought of with this red and navy combo. I mean, the Braves alternate definitely as well, but I would say more of the Guardians just in the pure design.
Unfortunately, there's really no MLB team I can think of that utilizes this type of light blue.
I mean, you could say like the Philly throwbacks as you get them swinging to end the inning.
Yeah, Philly throwbacks is probably the closest thing. Those are beautiful uniforms,
throwbacks.
Actually. Yeah, they go way out of the zone with those uniforms.
Pure,
yeah,
the
that's
color
true.
rather than the designs of it. Like these Giants ones are, I would say, design and color for Cleveland.
Yeah, with a nice V-neck on the collar too. We'll see when we come back.
Pitching.
Atlas Sorta Legacy Park, finest against the Giants, 14U baseball. Bottom of the first here, Giants are up after a clean first inning from Driscoll on the mound. Went through 4 batters, 1 caught stealing. Unconventional, but that's shot out to center by Millen, the leadoff hitter, handled well out there by Mejia. That's Brandon Mejia out there in center. We'll run through the starting lineup real quick for the Giants after Chase Millen just went, and I will warn you it's going to get very Italian very fast. Chase Millen, leadoff hitter, just skied out to center. Then right now we have Matthew Passantino, then Zachary Flannery, then Noah Driscoll, then John Regazzi, then the 6-hole Nicholas Fazio, then Anthony Casalaspro, then Rocco Muratori, then Chase Yarborough, then Casey Riegel, and then Joey Strevino, and then Anthony Pignatello. It's a 1-0 count quickly here for Passantino.
That was good.
I don't think I did that bad. Just the one we got to figure out.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Passantino, the starting third baseman.
I don't think I can watch a Passantino at bat without bringing up my guy Vinny Pasquantino, Kansas City Royal. It's just too close.
Oh, I guess that got the back of Passantino.
Interesting.
I didn't see the contact from my angle because it looked like it just hit the catcher's glove hard enough that it didn't seem that way.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought the umpire yelled strike when.
Wouldn't that have been bold?
Yeah, that's why I was like, wow, that was really inside. And then he took first, so I was like, all right.
We did see some wild calls in the last game, not this umpire.
Yeah, different umpire. Was it a different age group? It was.
13
1
last
year?
game, yeah. The pickoff attempt gets behind the first baseman, Beverly, and taken off for second is Passantino easily.
He's in there standing.
So we'll call an error there on Pineda, the starting pitcher. Anthony Pineda starting on the mound for the Finest, the 5-hitter in their lineup. Now we got Zachary Flannery in here for the Giants, the starting first baseman. Swings through a high one.
If you've been with us before, you know we like to talk uniforms and equipment the players are wearing. I noticed on this Flannery, the batting gloves he's using, I don't remember the name of the brand, but the Bolt, they're the ones like the MLB players that use, a lot of them. Like I know Brandon Nimmo on the Mets uses the Bolt. I actually have a game-used pair of Brandon Nimmo batting gloves, and they're that Bolt.
It's a great piece of merchandise right there.
Granted, it's obviously different colors than this one. It's like the... I think it was from an away game, so they were gray with the blue and orange. Still nice, though.
Ooh, a bunt opportunity right here. That drops in as good as it can get, but it throws foul.
That was good.
And Passantino was stealing on the pitch. Would have been a
perfect.
greatly executed opportunity. That was high enough where it was just going to drop enough for an easy infield single there for Flannery. It's a 1-2 count now, though, so he probably won't do it again. Passantino being held on at second by Mejia. Taking a quick breather here. And we're back at it. 1-2 count now against Flannery. That one comes in low, but stealing on the pitch was Passantino, and he slides in there easily. Just a little bit late of a throw by Murawski. Now it's a 2-2 count after the low ball.
You know, I said last game that when we were talking about the pitchers, that I said I should have tracked their pitch counts. I said, oh, maybe I'll do it next game. I already forgot. I just remembered right now. So maybe I'll get them next game.
Flannery skies that one behind us onto another field. Yeah, I'd say he's at like 12-ish right now.
12?
Probably accurate. It's still the 3-hitter.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
A lot of foul balls.
I'm not going to take that too seriously, I guess is the number, but general range.
After that pitch off the plate, it's a full count now on the first baseman, Flannery. And that one comes in at the knees. I'm going to have to watch a replay. The height looked good. But he'll take first base. That's the first walk under the belt of Pineda. We'll watch that one back, see where it landed. I won't lie, that just under the knees, I suppose.
Missed somewhere, as they would say.
Definitely not left to right. Just caught Flannery under the knees. He's a taller guy as a first baseman. Now he's leading off first, being held on by Beverly, the opposing first baseman. And here comes the starting pitcher, Driscoll. Flannery is indeed gone on the pitch. Murawski's going to have to eat it. Another well-executed runners on the corners steal of second base. We're going to see that a ton in this tournament this weekend.
I'm wondering now, seeing him batting now, that he's pitching. You said your first thought was you compared the jerseys to the Braves. Is it because of the 99? Maybe you thought of Spencer Strider?
Honestly, I wasn't looking at the 99 when he was up there.
Oh, really?
I saw the red, and I was like, the Braves have dark enough blue.
Interesting.
on occasion. They also do actually, coming to think of it, when I was talking about the light blue before, the finest are wearing, the Braves have a white with that type of light blue, don't they? I know it's white and red, but don't they have light blue somewhere in there?
I think so.
Am I lying?
The City Connect jerseys, right?
Not even the City Connect. I'm thinking of the, like, kind of,
With
not
the one
retro,
with like
but
the A on it.
probably.
I think that's the City Connect.
It's like a cream with a,
yeah.
I think there's light blue in there.
I think that's the cities.
I don't know, maybe. MLB's doing a lot of beautiful stuff with the City Connects nowadays.
They really are, yeah, absolutely. I like the ones that bring out like the brighter colors, like almost like the NFL when they did that 1 year. I mean, what was it, 2 years? Where they did what they call that? Where they all the teams wore like neon jerseys.
Color Rush?
Color Rush,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. Some of them still have their Color Rush, but a lot of teams retired them really quick. I'd say like almost after like just some survived only a year, but most of them were gone after say 2.
I think there were a lot of nice ones. Even like I love the colorful ones, but there were some like even the Saints had like just a straight up white, and I actually really liked it with just gold letters.
Yeah, I found that one to be one of the more boring ones. When you had the other ones that were such bright neon, like the Seattle Seahawks one obviously is the most famous one.
Green, yeah. The Broncos had a
The
nice
neon
orange.
green. Yeah, see that's another one that's still around. The Dolphins had one that was the neon orange, top and bottom, but they retired those pretty quick. They were bright orange, but they weren't as nice as the Denver Bronco ones.
That one's low on Driscoll. It's a full count. I think a lot of what they're focusing on more recently is more the helmets than anything. Like the Bengals are pushing out the white with the stripes on their helmets. They're not focusing as much on the jersey game, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of the switching of the helmets as he takes ball 4 to load up the bases.
Yeah, Driscoll gets himself some work. The starting pitcher finds his way on base.
I feel like the helmets are like the one constant on all the jerseys. Like they're never changing.
That's what you think, yeah. But as of recently, they've
Yeah.
gotten a little bit more developed.
Definitely recently they're changing them. But I'm saying that's why I liked it. Like the Dolphins don't have an alternate. Sorry if I referenced the Dolphins. For those who don't know, I am a Dolphins fan. That's why some of my references are coming that way. But obviously there are a bunch of other teams. Like the Giants don't have an alternate. I mean, there's maybe 4 that do have alternate helmets? There's not a lot.
Yeah. The Giants are pushing out a nice throwback recently, though, with the red and the blue. And
Are they bringing back the red jerseys?
not like the straight-up red that they had like with Eli Manning days, but it was
That's
the
what I-
red
that's
with
what
the
I just thought
blue
of.
and, well, yeah.
Interesting.
Anything having
That'd
red
be
on it
nice.
is just rare for the Giants nowadays. If you didn't notice, though, the starting pitcher Driscoll, after that walk, got pinch ran by the leadoff hitter Chase Millen, the only guy to get out so far. That one gets away. The runners are coming in. Passantino coming home. Throw coming in. He slides just under the tag from Panetta. It was a quick recovery there from Morawski, but it got to the backstop enough time for Passantino to get in. All the runners were moving. Millen to second. Passantino scored. And Flannery to third.
That was something I said we would not really see much of in this tournament.
Backstop is big enough, yeah.
The backstop isn't that big, I thought. Like I'm very surprised that we just saw that.
Here is John Regazzi, the center fielder, the 5-hitter in this order.
Especially with how much running we saw in that first game
Yeah.
that nobody tried to say. I mean, I thought it was due to the backstop not being that deep, but I guess different age range, faster players maybe.
Yeah, I think the higher you go up in terms of age, the more willing they are to take the plate. Surprisingly as that sounds, I don't think you see that at a younger, like 10U level. I feel like they're not willing to take that as much. But the catchers are indeed much faster here as well, though.
True, yeah.
It's a 1-2 count to Regazzi, who calls timeout real quick. Second and third, one out here. Millen was the only guy to be out this inning, but he's standing on second as a replacement for Noah Driscoll. That one comes in high on Regazzi. 2-2 count here. We mentioned a lot in the last game how many games these teams are playing in this tournament from Thursday to Sunday this weekend, how these coaches want to use these pitchers as much as they can without switching to another. They want to push Panetta as much as they can right here if he doesn't keep getting tagged and moving that pitch count up. You might have a lot of pitchers capable on your team, but how many of them are starter capable where they can go at least 4? That's the question of this tournament.
No, absolutely.
Regazzi skies this one out only into the infield. Castro and Panetta closing in on it. The pitcher will take it himself.
Way to stick with that one. It looked like it was giving him problems up in the sky.
So Regazi is taken care of. That'll bring in Nicholas Fazio.
Where's Fazio playing today? Is it
Just EH right now. But according to the Giants coach, there will be a lot of defensive adjustments throughout this game. People are going to be moving back, around, back and forth. Guys might switch on for an inning, come back to their position after that inning.
There's another one wearing the Bolt gloves.
Yeah, it's a popular choice. I wish I could tell you what that is.
Bolt is in the name. I just don't know what the other part of the name is.
Not sure.
Nah.
It's a 2-0 count here on Fazio. That pitch had a lot of curve to it. That fastball finds the zone.
Yeah, that came in hard.
No one being held on. Flannery at third, Millen at second. Passantino already came in to score. 2-1 count here. Fazio swings through that one. Two down. Pineda just needs to work through one more. The 2-2 pitch from Pineda. Catches the outside corner. Pineda gets his second strikeout of the game. Another guy guilty looking to a strikeout. Or actually, that was the first strikeout of the game.
That was his first, yeah.
Pineda's first. Couple from Driscoll on the other end. But the Giants tag one in the bottom of the first, heading to the second, a 1-run lead. We'll see how Driscoll can hold on to that lead in the second when we come back. Driscoll had pretty quick work throughout that first inning, courtesy of a runner caught stealing by Joey Stravino. But nonetheless, he was working pretty efficiently on his own. It's an 0-2 count right now on the starting pitcher, Pineda. Pitcher on pitcher, here we go. That one drops just low. Pineda read the curveball nicely. So catcher already swapped out Anthony Pignatello behind the plate right now for the Giants. A couple of defensive adjustments. Looks like they're going to change things around every inning. Here we go, the 1-2 pitch from Driscoll. Outside. If my sheet serves me correctly, I believe Casalaspro has made his way into center field this inning, changing from left. Nicholas Fazio, the EH, has made his way into left to replace that. Chase Yarbrough, EH, has made his way into right. In addition to the catcher change. That should be all. Things might change back next inning. We will see. Driscoll on the 2-2 pitch. That one came weirdly off the bat, off the second, into Muratori's hands. No problem there, just about 10 feet away from Flannery at first. It seemed like a hard hit ball by the sound of the bat, but it came off so oddly. It might have just been the spin on Driscoll's pitch. Look at that. That died off the bat.
It was either that or the part of the bat it hit off.
I think it was like chopped him up.
Yeah. Because then he took a second to get out of the box too. I feel like
it
got him on the inside part of the bat.
Some off-speed action from Driscoll tying these guys up. Here's the third baseman Kurt Castro in the 6 hole. First pitch from Driscoll finds the zone.
This umpire's a lot more vocal than the first one was. Like I don't think I ever heard the first one say anything. That's what I'm hearing all the calls.
Everyone's got their different strategies. 3 games Actually, 4 games going on at the same time right now. All the fields are occupied around us.
A busy weekend here. Busy
Yeah,
extended
a lot
weekend.
going on around the horn. Just the second game we've called here live on the broadcast of 4 today. Running it all the way through Sunday for this Baseball Lifestyle 101 World Series. 4-day affair this year. And that ball was blown by Castro for strike 2. Can Driscoll keep working efficiently? Ooh. That was off speed behind Castro there.
Just a bit outside. Or actually far too inside.
I thought you said it ironically. Just low. Nice to see 2 catchers on a team having such promising ability behind the plate that they can switch on and off like the Giants are doing right now. Strivino got the start. Pignatello, who was the EH, is behind the plate right now. I believe they're going to switch off every inning.
That's rare.
Assuming they both have an extreme arm, it's pretty incredible to see. Payoff pitch is skied at Muratori, who makes a leaping grab. What a sensational catch and reaction time at second base by Muratori. Let's watch that back really quick. The full count pitch from Driscoll. What exit velo there from Castro. Getting up there. He took a step inside towards the plate and then left for that one.
That's a nice play.
That brings up the first baseman, Dominic Beverly. Some good defense behind Driscoll. Keeps nobody on base with 2 outs here. And looking to go 1-2-3 is Driscoll. See this combo, it's almost mandatory for this team to all wear the pink belts, I'm assuming.
I was thinking that because you're not seeing the pink anywhere else. I mean, I guess the outline of the number, but you're not even seeing it that heavily. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like really looking at it. But yeah, they all seem to be wearing the pink belt.
Beverly also happens to have the face guard on the left side of his helmet as a righty.
And
he's
it's
keeping
pink.
that pink as well, yeah.
Face guard, I feel we haven't seen as much today as I would have expected.
Yeah, not really. There was maybe 1 or 2 in the first game.
Yeah.
That one bounced in front of the plate. 2-2 count now on Beverly. We've only seen maybe 1 extra base hit today, if anything. I think the single down the third base line in the first game was the only one I can recall.
Yes, but at the same time, I feel like it was due to how clogged the bases always were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it was always like runners scared to take the extra base of like based on where it was hit, of like being caught.
Ooh, that one just missed low on a full count there. Beverly earns himself a walk. Yeah, I agree. The bases were loaded quite often in that big deficit game before this.
But you're right, though. There really weren't that many balls where it was like, if they hit them, how they hit them, with nobody on base, would have been extra base hits.
We'll see if we see some more extra base hit action, some stuff in the gaps.
Yeah.
Maybe a homer today. We'll see. We saw one last year.
Yeah, home run would be pretty hype.
That one came in high. Pignatello was ready. This is the left fielder, Danny Castro.
I know that last game we mentioned a lot of the gaps that have been being left by the defense in the last game, but they really weren't exploited as often. I don't even want to say as often. I feel like they really weren't exploited at all, almost. Maybe once or twice, but it was on singles that cleared through open space by, say, short and third or up the middle. We had no real like shots into either left center or right center gaps.
It's true.
Because that's where you'll start to see some extra base hits.
So 1-1 count here on Danny Castro. 2 Mejias and 2 Castros in this finest lineup.
Maybe some sibling duo, I gotta imagine.
Possibly. This is the left fielder, Danny Castro.
At the same time, though. Oh, no. Yeah, maybe. I was just say, are they common enough names? But Castro, maybe. Mejia.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Mejia, somewhat, I feel like.
Pretty common, yeah. The lead is growing over there at first for Beverly. But timeout called by Castro at the plate. Pignatello is ready to catch Beverly stealing if he even moves. All these jerseys have the flag on the sleeve or the back as well. Pretty nice. Pretty neat. It fits with the team colors as well.
Yeah, I like the flags.
Like the Giants wearing the red and blue already. It's just the basic flag, but the Finest with their light blue, that flag is kind of mixed in on their back a little bit.
Do all the teams fit the flag on their jersey?
I think for the most part I've seen the flag on all of them.
That's what I was thinking. I feel like a lot of them do have.
And finding the zone once more is Driscoll. Punches out Danny Castro looking. A lot of these guys are checking inside and outside strikes and just watching them paint the zone. Hopefully these coaches really get on them a little bit more because I need to see these guys swinging a little bit more for strike 3. Heading into the bottom of the second, just 1-0 Giants. One runner left stranded there for the Finest. We'll see you when we return. Here we are in the bottom of the second. Giants have a 1-0 lead on the Finest right now. Remaining on the mound for the Finest is Anthony Pineda. And at the plate right now, another Anthony Casalaspro. I think I did that one right. Starting left fielder. Driscoll's been working through very smoothly against this Finest lineup. Now on the other side of things, Pineda has to keep this lead at just 1. For the most part, I think the Finest are keeping it the same defensively, as far as we've been notified.
I mean, the Finest got out of it, I don't want to say almost lucky, but they escaped the jam. They had second and third one out before they had the infield pop-up and the strikeout to get out of it.
Casalaspro looks at that fastball blow by him.
Almost certainly looking for a much easier inning this time.
An 0-2 count here. Anthony on Anthony. As that one finds the inside of the zone, down looking goes Casalaspro.
Coach, that's a warning on 13. Arguing balls and strikes.
Infield throwing that one around. Another looking strikeout here. The second one thrown by Pineda.
If you happen to catch it on your end of the audio, Casalaspro was just given a warning for language after receiving the strike 3 call.
Yeah, when you go down looking, it's not a pleasant feeling. Here comes Rocco Muratori, the starting second baseman. Watches one find the zone. Pineda is painting the corners right now. Working to protect very well. That one is probably going to be a low strike as well. Muratori chops that one behind him. He's getting ahead on all of these batters, it seems like. This guy Pineda. So an 0-2 count now. Looks like the first baseman, Beverly, is playing pretty shallow. Touching the green. I'd say the grass, but it is turf. I've seen a lot of the coaches move the first baseman in today.
It's true. And I wonder, is it the coach? Or is it the player?
Maybe we'll ask later. We'll see.
Yeah.
That one was coming in low. Muratori reaches low to foul that one off. On deck, Chase Yarbrough, the starting EH. It's a 1-2 count for Panetta against Muratori. And timeout called at the plate by Muratori. Still no hits on the board for the Giants, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I mean, they had the hit
Just
by
walks.
pitch, the 2 walks.
Yeah. They're getting the help of the pitcher on a lot of these, but Panetta's really recovering right now. It's a 2-2 count still on Muratori. The pitch from Panetta. Flown out behind us. That one was probably in between the fields. Looking around these fields, I've seen a lot of interesting jerseys. Solid black behind us. That one comes in low on Muratori. It's going to be a full count. Here comes the full count pitch. Just low. Muratori recovers. He was at a disadvantage at the start of that at-bat and comes around with a walk. Panetta couldn't recover. So a base runner here with 1 out for the Giants. Now he's going to be held on by Beverly. Here comes Chase Yarbrough, the starting extra hitter. Look at that lead over at first by Muratori. See if he takes off on one of these pitches. Strike 1 called on Yarbrough. If you are at Lasorda Legacy Park today watching this stream, concession stands are open. A lot of good stuff around this park that we're excited to try, actually. From candy to ballpark snacks.
It does make me wonder, though, how many people you think are watching the game while also watching the game through us?
If you like to hear the audio, I'd love to hear it. Off on that pitch was Muratori, but that one got over the head of Murawski anyway. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear it. If you're watching the game at home, you like to hear the play-by-play and color audio. That's awesome.
Yeah, I hope it's true. I hope there are a lot of parents around here. They're
Go
watching
get yourself some ballpark food. That one skied out into right. The second baseman comes around for that. That's D'Ambrosio. Not a play that I thought was going to be the second baseman's ball, but he has the speed to get there. Let's watch that one back. That one got out of what you would call the dirt on this turf field, but it was a little too shallow maybe for the right fielder to be his ball. Sofronis was coming in to close in on that. Decent contact there by Yarbrough. And that'll bring up the starting right fielder, Casey Regal. That one comes in low. Being held on at second is Muratori. That's D'Ambrosio staying close. An hour and 7 minutes left on the game timer. It started at hour 50. We're in the bottom of the second. Would you say this is moving quite slow?
I didn't think it was until now that you brought it up.
Considering there's only 1 run on the board, I didn't think so either. That one's shot out to short for Brian Mejia. Gets it across the diamond, not in time for Regal. And that is an error thrown over Beverly's head. That brings in Muratori. That's a shame. That could have been an inning-ending 6-3 putout, and that got past Beverly. We're going to give that error to Mejia. We've seen a couple of throwing errors today, which we've given to the thrower. So that brings in a run. The lead is extended to 2 here for the Giants, and here comes the starting catcher, Joey Stravino. Beverly's going to hold.
Let's get another
Regal
look at
on
this
first
play.
now.
I mean, Mejia got over there pretty quick.
Yeah, nice backhand. It's just, again, a cross-body throw. It's hard to make. And
Yeah.
Regal was flying down that line. So an 0-1 count here for Stravino after the foul. Panetta working against 2 runs now. Oh, that goes over the head of Murawski, and off is Regal. questioning the fact whether this might be Rigel. I'm starting to think that it is. That's the one pronunciation I'm
the name?
looking to confirm, yeah.
Rigel and Regal?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like it's Rigel.
I would say Rigel as well.
Not Regal Cinemas.
That's what's holding me, is that there's an I in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have gone
I
with
feel like
Regal
we should emphasize
in
that
comparison
I.
to Regal Cinemas. Then we're gonna find out that we're both wrong, and it's neither of the two options.
Riegel? No.
Regal. The emphasis on the A.
3-1 count here on Stravino. The starting catcher who got a break last inning on the field, but it will likely take over his responsibilities again next inning. Swings through that one. 2 down already. Pineda just needs one more strike. A ball just came out of nowhere from another field. That's probably the 3rd time it's happened already.
I don't remember it happening as often as it is today.
Everyone's found it back.
Yeah, that's 3 times, and we've been here, say what, 3 hours?
Yeah, the 4 fields converge in kind of a square almost. And Stravino watches that one go by him. Another strikeout for Pineda. So I will not explain the field layout until the next inning. But that was the 3rd strikeout for Pineda, the starting pitcher. The Giants tag on one more. 2-run lead for them into the top of the 3rd. The Finest looking to respond when we return. Top of the 3rd, here we come. Finest batting right now against the Giants. Driscoll's still on the mound. That one's shot up the middle. That was a blooper, which no one closed in on time. By the time Muratori got to it, it was a little late for how long that had to drop.
It's in a weird spot.
Yeah, it was a
Like,
quick
they
bloop
both
there.
did. Like, the second baseman did run over there. Like, he didn't.
I didn't even have time to introduce D'Ambrosio, the starting second baseman. But a bloop infield single there.
I was
and
gonna say, yeah, that
Muratori
is
and
a
Millen
hit.
couldn't close in time.
Second hit of the day for this lineup.
Catcher Jimmy Morowski. They try to pick off D'Ambrosio at first and do not prevail. Sometimes a little bit of contact gets it done. We mentioned in the first game when there was so much rain out here, we said it would probably be the worst for guys without batting gloves, and now Morowski comes in without them. And what a gun there by Stravino. D'Ambrosio maybe had a late jump, but the outside pitch, it almost looked like a designed throwout. Look at this back. Stravino was hopping ready. Wow, D'Ambrosio wasn't even halfway down the line yet by the time Stravino released that. And Mullen had way too much time to apply that tag.
That's crazy.
It's an ugly start after D'Ambrosio had the leadoff single.
That second runner caught on the bases today.
Oh my gosh, Morowski just almost shot us in the face.
That was close.
You couldn't see the angle, but that actually just almost popped us.
For those who don't know where we're sitting almost right next to home plate along the third base line.
Wherever that ball just went off your camera footage, it was directly at our face level. So a 2-1 count here from Morowski. What I was saying before Stravino gunned down D'Ambrosio on the bases Morowski's not wearing batting gloves. Well, we could always make a Jorge Posada reference as New Yorkers, but we were saying that was going to be a lot tougher if it was raining. Thankfully for him, it's not. It's a choice sometimes to not use a form of batting gloves.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really see it as much nowadays than I don't want to say back in the day, but say like the early 2000s and pre-2000s of people not using the gloves as he draws a walk. The few players now that I can think of is I know Joey Wendell didn't wear gloves.
I couldn't even tell you if Joey Wendell's anywhere right now.
I don't
Still
think
playing.
I was going to say I don't think he's anywhere right now, but he was a member of the Mets last year,
For a
early
brief period,
early
yeah.
in the year.
I think Will Myers back in the day. had
Will Myers,
batting
yeah.
gloves,
Yeah. He's one that's been out of the league maybe
He
a
retired,
couple of
though, I
years.
believe,
Yeah, he's definitely retired. A couple of years because he was an All-Star in 2016, so he played fairly recently.
Here's the EH, Chase Sanchez, to round out the finest lineup. It's not the first time we've seen that, where it so barely skimmed somebody and went into the catcher's glove where you barely even see it. But that one I actually heard hit the stomach of Sanchez. So that was a very quick at-bat. I like that when Sanchez came up, he fist bumped the umpire. It's such a cool... You usually see that during the MLB All-Star Game.
Remember when, who was it, Nelson Cruz?
That's exactly what I was thinking of, actually. Nelson Cruz, yeah.
During the All-Star Game, he had, I think it was Yadier Molina catching. He had Molina...
Took out his phone and took a pic?
Yeah, Cruz took his phone out of his back pocket.
That was a bunt attempt by Royce Williams. He got under the bunt, but was dropped by Strevino.
Safe.
Both runners advanced on what was probably going to be a squeeze opportunity. Both runners were moving on the bunt attempt. Look at this one back. Yeah, they were not even necessarily moving on the attempt, but at second, Morowski was just a little jumpy on the pitch. But he took the opportunity when Strevino lost it. So 1-0 now. That one's chopped. In fair territory, barely in front of the plate. Strevino handles it very nicely, and Royce Williams didn't react quick enough. That was an unfortunate chop. It looked like it was going to go down the first baseline foul, but it actually stayed in front of the plate. Quick reaction time by Strevino.
That was a nice play. Check the runner, then sent down.
I'm seeing more bolts on these batting gloves for Brian Mejia here, the shortstop. Colorful even. I like the pink combo with the lime green. A lot going on there in neon colors. 2 outs here. Runners on second and third. That one gets by Strevino, hits the back post. Now coming home. Oh, Driscoll applied the tag too late. Morowski got under it. Quick recovery there by Strevino, but it got high on the fence and then bounced down. Well executed by Driscoll to recover. Reaction time was nice, but Morowski slid under just in time. Let's look at that back, make sure the arm got down. Oh, that actually did, looking back at the replay, it was closer than you might think, and it looked like he actually got the helmet. Yeah, thank you for the freeze frame, actually. That's perfect. Looked like the helmet was caught.
Tough call for the Giants, but
Ooh.
2-1 nonetheless.
That's a freeze frame at the plate. What a play by Driscoll to get that down. Unfortunate turn of events. Now it's 2-1. Giants still holding on to a lead, but a runner on third nonetheless. He also advanced. That's Chase Sanchez. Mejia swings through another. It's 1-2 now. Don't want to strand this runner on third, down 1 here. Not going to get many opportunities like this. 1-2 count, 2 outs, man on third. Driscoll finds it low. Another beautiful combo. Mejia's got pink laces in addition to the pink socks.
Ooh.
I wonder if he put those on custom, because I don't imagine those white shoes would have pink laces like that. That's really cool, actually.
I think he had to have, yeah.
Nice little addition to the jersey. That one's chopped out toward us. You gotta love the instant replays we were provided with here.
Yeah, that
in
was
Steel
really
Sports
good.
Production. That was
amazing.
actually a really cool freeze frame at the plate. I wish you somehow let the umpire check it out. Maybe that changed the course of events a lot here in this tournament.
Maybe next year.
Bring him into the booth, check the vibes.
We are the replay reviews.
Yeah.
He looks at us, we give him the call.
Or if we are just Secaucus, New York.
Yeah,
He doesn't even have to look at himself.
He looks to us, and we give him the signal.
Strike 3 called on Brian Mejia. Driscoll finds the outside part of the plate again. Again, we're just going to keep commenting on how many looking Ks we see today. We're going to write that backwards K a lot in the scorecard.
That's already 3 looking for this finest lineup.
The finest tag 1 on Driscoll, though, on a wild pitch, which probably was out at the plate, but we're going to let that one slide. 2-1. Giants head into the bottom of the third, looking to answer and add more to that score. We'll see when we come back. Welcome back to the Sword Legacy Park. Bottom of the third action here, leading it off for the Giants, Anthony Pignatello, the 12-hitter, rounding out this 12-man lineup. He's the, I don't want to say understudy catcher, but the catcher in the second inning and then probably the fourth. He skies that one out into the right center gap. That's Chase Sanchez out there now, taking over from the EH position. He's out in right center. He bounces that one into the cutoff man. Pignatello is going to take 3 if they don't get this in. He does successfully get there. By the time they get to second base, Pignatello was on third already. It was a short cutoff there out there from Sanchez. Got it into the second baseman, D'Ambrosio, who was also a little bit slow to turn it. So a leadoff triple for Pignatello, the 12-hitter. And now we're back to the top for Chase Millen.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, splitting that gap, something we had not seen.
Yeah, we were waiting to see that a little bit more today. Look at that throw. Chase Sanchez kind of bounced it to D'Ambrosio, who then dropped it on the scoop. By the time they got it in there to Mejia, Pignatello was ready on third.
I think Pignatello would have made it into third regardless of if he had trouble picking that ball up, but it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, it looked like a double off the bat. Like Sanchez,
Absolutely.
By the way he was taking that route, which was pretty clean, it was only going to be a double. The relay was not clean enough.
I mean, Pignatello ended up standing on third. He didn't even have to slide in.
Yeah, it was not close at all. Sanchez, like we said, the EH who just took over in right field and then immediately had to get involved. Sofronis wasn't that involved out there in right field himself. There wasn't too much action prior to this point.
Now the Giants got an opportunity to take that run right back.
Yeah, Pineda in trouble early here against the 3-4-5. Or coming up the 3-4-5 after this. This is the 1 Chase Millen. Two count here. Matthew Passantino waiting on deck. Man standing on third, they hopefully will not strand him. Millen skies this one out foul in between the fields. No play there for Beverly. So already top of the order here in the bottom of the third. They weave through a 12-man lineup rather quickly. Despite only 2 runs on the board, the Giants have been putting a lot of base runners together. Millen puts this one behind him. The speedy leadoff hitter looking to get on base here. Even if he could just grab first, he would likely be able to take second by steal, or especially the runners on the corners might be easier to do so. He shoots this one up the middle out of the reach of Mejia, and that's going to be an RBI base hit. Pignatello comes in to score after the leadoff triple, and that's a 2-run lead now for the Giants.
Giants got that run they allowed in the top of the third right back quickly, 2 batters into this inning.
Starting to see these gaps pursued a little bit. That was right out of the reach of Mejia between the shortstop and second base. Now you got the leadoff hitter and speedster Millen sitting on first with Passantino up now. Beverly holding on Millen at first.
Passantino.
Finest coach. Yep.
Oh, no, please.
No, after you. And Millen does indeed take off. A low throw picked out of the ground by Morawski. No time because Millen's already there. As you were saying?
I was going to say, Passantino got hit by pitches last time around. He was out of the box pretty quick. I didn't even get to finish making Vinny Pasquantino references. You think he's his favorite player is Vinny Pasquantino?
Probably one of his favorite ones. I feel like if I had a last name close enough to a player, I'd admire that player a little bit.
I'd almost immediately buy the jersey.
Yeah.
If there was a player in the MLB or any professional sport with the last name Labella, boom, I'm buying his jersey.
I don't know if these guys pick their jersey numbers, but I would say if that was the case, I'd probably pick Pasquantino's number. Dallins finds another gap. That's out to Chase Sanchez in right. We'll see if Millen rounds third. He does. He's coming home because it's still out in Sanchez's hands. They get it into Morawski's hands quickly. That was kind of a dart by Sanchez, but he just took too long to throw it. And another RBI knock, that one by Passantino. That will bring up the first baseman, Zachary Flannery. Passantino now on first. We'll see if they move him as well. The Giants moving quickly here because they keep getting singles, which they turn into a stolen base with somebody in running into scoring position immediately at that point.
They're almost constantly in scoring position.
Yeah. And Passantino off on the first pitch. Flannery fakes a bunt. And Morawski's going to have to eat it because Passantino had such a good jump. Flannery pulled the bunt back just in time and ended up with a ball. Now the infield playing straight up once again. Passantino in scoring position already. You see how quickly the Giants like to operate. That one's down the first baseline. A sliding grab there by Beverly keeps it in front of him for the unassisted out. So Panetta needed that one to get Flannery out, finally get one out in the out column on the scoreboard. But Passantino is now on third, even closer to the plate. This brings up the starting pitcher, Noah Driscoll. In the top, or the bottom of the third here, 2 runs already plated here for the Giants. It's a 3-run lead now, with one more threatening on third. That's Passantino.
And just the one out.
Yeah. That was a hard hit ball by Flannery as well. He pulled it down that first baseline, barely foul.
Yeah, it was hit
Barely
loud,
fair.
too.
Yeah. Driscoll looking to support himself, get some more insurance for a game which he can hopefully go the distance in. That's what Coach wants him to do. That one's low. It's a 2-1 count here on Driscoll. Coach has a lot of faith in Driscoll's arm to go the distance in this game. That one's low as well. Panetta's got to bring it up a little bit. Consistently finding below the knees of his opponents here.
He drew a walk his first time around. Now he's already got a 3-ball count.
Fielder's getting a little antsy, staying out there a while now. Driscoll walks in 5 pitches.
For the second time today, he's got a walk.
Game timer in the bottom of the third here. Becomes more and more likely by the minute that we won't make it 7 innings. Now Driscoll, the starting pitcher, after that walk, will be pinch ran by the last out. That's Zachary Flannery after his ground out to first. A little bit of a mound visit here without the coach, just the players discussing it. So Panetta won't be moving.
That's the 4th walk for this Giants lineup, as well as a hit by pitch. So you could say even 5 if you count it like
Panetta's
that.
struggled with his own a little bit. They haven't gotten to him much. They've tagged 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and now 2 this inning. But it hasn't felt like they've been damaging him that much.
I agree,
He's
yeah, it
struggling
really
with
hasn't
control.
felt like it's been that crazy.
And now
I mean, I
runners-
guess that's due to the game we just did last time, where it was like 13 runs.
Yeah, and runners on the corners, you expect Flannery to be off on the pitch, and he was, but Ragazzi flies this one behind him. So we're resetting. John Ragazzi, the starting center fielder here. Flannery will likely do it one more time. He's being held on first base by Beverly, but no matter how small his lead is, he'll probably do it anyway, forcing Morowski to throw it down to second. Flannery goes again. Morowski's going to eat it, as expected. That was a ball as well, so 1-1 count here on Ragazzi. For the second time this game, Passantino floating around third base, and now Flannery on second as the pinch runner. That's high on Ragazzi. Last time Passantino was on third base, he came diving into the plate on a wild pitch and scored. So a 2-1 count on Ragazzi.
Ragazzi's looking to change his fortunes. He had the pop-up to the pitcher his first time around.
Shoots that one right at the third baseman. It was too hot to handle for Castro. That gets by him. Into score comes Passantino. Flannery reaches third, and that's an RBI single for Ragazzi.
He did indeed change his fortune. Get another
That
look at
looked
that.
playable for Castro, but he had to dive out for that one with that exit
Just
velocity.
a second. Missed it by just a pinch.
Yeah. Luckily, the left fielder and shortstop closed in on that quickly enough to stop Flannery from rounding third.
And for
Here's
the second
Nicholas
time today,
Fazio.
Passantino came in to score.
Indeed, yeah. 2 runs now for Passantino. Now off on the pitch is Ragazzi. This is skied out to left field by Fazio into the left field gap. Diving grab there, it looked like, by the center fielder Mejia, but tagging anyway is Flannery. Yeah, the umpire says Flannery left at a fair time. So that's going to be a sac fly
Sac
for
fly.
Fazio. That was into the left center gap. But look at this diving grab by Mejia out there. That's Brandon Mejia. He was the only one that could have a reach at that. His hat flies off and he lays out. Yeah, he had to dive for that one seemingly.
What a play.
But what exit velocity by Fazio there. That was one of the longest shots we've seen today. Gets the job done. That one finds the strike zone against Casalaspro, the left fielder here. So 2 down now after the sac fly, but Fazio brought in another. It's 6-1 now, just a runner on first. That's still Regazi being held on by Beverly. Casalaspro swings through that one. So on the sac fly, Regazi was stealing. So we're going to see if he does it again. He's clearly got the speed, but he had to be sent back after the grab out in center. If that got past Mejia, Regazi might have scored from first since he was off on the pitch. It's an 0-2 count now against Casalaspro. Panetta's got to close this inning out. 4 runs tagged against him this inning, and he's down 5. Let's see with 2 strikes here if Regazi takes off. Beverly's still holding him. He's shuffling around back and forth, extending and regressing his lead. Now he takes off, but Casalaspro swings through it anyway for strike 3. Drop third. They're going to put it to first to get him out. Panetta adds another strikeout to his column, but he gives up 4 in the third. The Giants extend the lead to 5. 6-1 Giants heading into the top of the 4th. We'll see if the finest can respond when we come back. And top of the 4th action beginning now. 6-1, the Giants are up on the finest. The finest looking to answer right now. Shot out into center. That's Casalaspro standing out there looking at it. Oh, it hits off of his glove. He got there in time but couldn't reel it in. And they get it into Mullen to hold that to a single. That was a quick shot out there on the first pitch of the inning by Mejia. That's center fielder Mejia, Brandon. Another hot exit velo ball right there.
Do I give a single?
I'd say it's a single, yeah. Casalaspro, who started in left field, second inning was in center field, and then took a breather last inning. He's back out there in center, and that was a hard hit ball to get to.
All right, he's getting a single in my book then.
Now swinging through the first pitch is starting right fielder Christos Sofronis, who was replaced out there in right field. Holding on Mejia at first base is Flannery. Defense is pretty flimsy, as I said, for the Giants team. Flimsy, I mean it in a way that they've been flipping it around a lot. Coach has been changing around a lot, but some things have stayed consistent. Driscoll still on the mound. Flannery still at first. Mullen still the shortstop. Passantino still at third. Second baseman still Muratori. But behind the plate, as we switch every inning, Anthony Pignatello back there right now.
I kind of like it. You think it's easier for them to be?
That one's blooped into the first and second between there, handled by Flannery. Returning to first is Mejia, and that's one down. As you were saying?
You think it's easier for them to be rotating by inning catching or rotating by game?
I feel like inning is less stressful on your body.
I feel like, right?
Yeah.
It does make sense, right? Rather than you
Like
catch like a straight
you
6-inning
stay,
game.
like, fit into it as opposed to like doing a whole game where you're stressing your muscles absolutely, and then you're
For 6 innings, but
sitting
then
for
you
a
get the whole
game.
next game off,
Yeah,
catching-wise.
Sure, but I think it just gets
This does make
agitating
it easier.
after a while of doing so many innings in a row. I think, like last game, we saw the catchers there just seemed like they were getting just frustrated at some point.
What I'm thinking now, how different do you think it is for the pitcher to be throwing to two different catchers in the same game? Like, I
It's a
know
little different, yeah.
you see in the major leagues all the time, like splits of the pitchers, like when they're with different catchers. So I wonder if that's like playing a factor with him in this one. Like he pitches better with one than the other.
Mm-hmm. It's possible, yeah. I haven't seen much of a difference thus far. This is the starting pitcher, Anthony Pineda, trying to eliminate this deficit a little bit.
Are the catchers calling signs? I haven't really paid that.
I can't really tell
that
from this
deep.
angle because the sign would be behind the leg.
Oh, they
Oh,
are.
yeah, we'd see it on,
He is,
on
yep.
the footage, actually, yeah.
Okay. So I feel like it has to be affecting in some sense at least.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm kind of curious. I wonder who he prefers.
We've seen both catchers be pretty promising behind the plate thus far. That one bounced, and Pignatello had to scoop it, and Mejia was off on the pitch. So we'll give Mejia a stolen base because he was moving already. That was a hard one to grab and throw down. Pineda facing a 2-1 count right now. Mejia now in scoring position. That one comes in right at the chest area for strike 2. Driscoll is throwing gas right now. That one hit Pignatello's glove hard. Millen's staying rather close at second base. The shortstop keeping Mejia honest. Now Pineda chops this one forward. That's going to be a ball in play for Pignatello. He gets it into the hands of Flannery in time, but Mejia is going to advance to third, reasonably so. That was another one where the batter didn't react very quickly to this chopper in front of the plate. It seemed like it was going to be foul. Pineda didn't have much of a reaction time there.
That's the second time in this game we've had a play
Yeah.
where the catcher's tossing up the
But
first.
it goes so high up in the air, he's confused for a second. Actually, he moved rather quickly. And then that had some backspin towards the plate. Yeah,
Nice
that was
play.
actually a pretty close play. Got him by about a step.
So actually,
And that one is skied out there by Kirk Castro into center field. Casalaspro can't get there in time, and that's going to bring Mejia home. So an RBI knock there for Kirk Castro, the third baseman. These guys jumping on the first pitches. I don't even have enough time to introduce them. But with 2 outs, that's an RBI single. Luckily for them, didn't leave the runner stranded on third there. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Dominic Beverly. Now a runner on first. Castro being held on by Flannery. That one's a little out. Well picked up there by Pignatello. It almost looked for a second there by how hot that got off the bat. Like Casalaspro was going to be able to get there in time in center.
he definitely had a shot at it, I thought.
It bounced once into his glove. Ooh, that was a little at the head.
Didn't like that one.
35 and a half minutes left on this game timer, and we are in the top of the fourth. My prediction is 6 innings right now.
I would agree, yeah.
That one's outside. Another grab by Pignatello. It's a 3-0 count, though. Driscoll can't find it. From our angle, you realize how wide the outfield is in the sense that out and right, you got Ragel with so much space to his left right now, towards the foul line.
That's a lot of ground to cover. It really
Yeah,
is.
really. That's why it's pretty incredible that Casalaspro even got to that ball that hit off his glove. It's a 3-1 count. Castro still being held on by Flannery. Taking a hack there was Beverly to make this count full. Two down, just a man on first right now. Finest did tag 1 in this inning, but it's still 4 runs to recover from. The payoff pitch here from Driscoll. Running on the pitch reasonably is Castro. That one comes in high. No throw needed there from Pignatello. So another walk here for Driscoll. How many walks Driscoll up to?
I was actually in the middle of counting.
That will warrant a mound visit from Coach.
That is 4 and a hit by pitch.
Really? I did not realize it got that high.
Yeah. Hit 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and 1 just now.
Driscoll's been working so quickly you don't even realize it.
1 every inning, and then he had to hit by pitch last inning.
See, his leash will probably still be long, but he's about to face left fielder Danny Castro with 2 runners on and still 2 down.
And Castro, he got looking to end the inning in the second. So he's handled Castro already.
He's a righty on righty matchup.
I feel like that mound visit was more of like a reminder, saying like, hey, you got the 2 outs. Don't worry about the runner. Focusing on the batter.
Yeah, we see that a lot with the coaches. Just a quick
Yeah, just to
replenishing.
Oh, okay. Maybe it wasn't. Don't focus on the runner.
It's actually keep your eyes strictly on the runner.
Yeah, it's actually pay attention. They take leads. Interesting. All right, so ignore my last statement. I wasn't really in there, I guess.
Ooh, that one gets to the backstop past Pignatello. He comes up firing, though. Another one. Did he swim around that tag? He might have gotten around Passantino. We're going to look at the replay real quick right here. That came clean off the backstop into the hands of Pignatello. We thought he was going to be gone.
I thought he had
at
a real
third.
shot at him.
Let's check this out. Does Passantino not get the tag down?
The ball beats him there by...
Yeah, he should have had it. Ooh, nice swim move right there.
Did he get under it?
I think he did get under it. The right hand got around.
Interesting. The throw beat him there for sure. It's a great play by the catcher.
What technique on these dives. Everybody's sliding head first nowadays. That's a 2-0 count here. That one shot out into right center. That one's going to drop in front of Rigel. They're going to cut it off to Flannery. 1 run's already in. And that'll just be a single. They're going to hold him there. Second run of the inning. That'll bring the lead to just 3. RBI single there for Castro. That brought the other Castro home. And our runners on the corners again. You got to assume Castro's going to be on the move, despite being held on by Flannery right now. Here's Eric D'Ambrosio, the second baseman. He's already gone before the windup by Driscoll even happened. But you had to assume that was going to happen. Pignatello telling Driscoll, calm it down, focus on D'Ambrosio, the hitter.
That was kind of crazy. You really don't see that too often. That he was
Yeah,
completely
he was
gone before the windup
had
happened.
really even moved, yeah. That one catches the inside part of the plate. D'Ambrosio down to a quick 0-2 count here. Infield's going to play this straight
D'Ambrosio,
up.
he had a single last time around.
He did.
Yeah, he's taking 2 quick strikes.
Runners in scoring position, second and third here. Can D'Ambrosio capitalize? He can't. Fastball blown by him by Driscoll. Driscoll escapes with just 2 under his belt. 2 runners left stranded, 2 runs came in. 6-3 lead for the Giants. Hopefully, for them, they can extend it going into the bottom of the 4th. Don't go anywhere. We'll see if they can when we come back. It's time for the bottom of the fourth here. Giants up 3 against the Finest, and they can add more to it here in the bottom of the fourth. Right off the bat, a ground out to D'Ambrosio, who's now on the mound for the Finest. Panetta's afternoon, I should say, ended after 3 innings when they tagged 6 on him through 3. D'Ambrosio takes 1 pitch to retire the first batter right there. It was a ground out right to him by Muratori. That'll bring up the 8-hitter Chase Yarborough, the 9-hitter.
Last time we saw the Finest score runs, the Giants came out and immediately scored even more runs. So I'm intrigued to see how this inning goes.
Yeah.
Granted, new pitcher and an immediate first pitch out. He might be off to a different kind of wavelength.
Ambrosio was the starting second baseman, played second base through those first 3 innings. There were a lot of defensive adjustments from what I can tell to get D'Ambrosio on the mound. Nothing I was informed of, so I've been taking it to my own accord. I believe the shortstop, Brian Mejia, moved over to third. The right field position was taken back by the starting right fielder, Sofronis, which moved the EH originally, who turned into the right fielder, Chase Sanchez, to second base to take over D'Ambrosio's position.
Feels right.
That should be all for the most part, other than the new shortstop. But Yarborough in a 2-2 count right now against D'Ambrosio. That one goes outside. If you'd like to, we'll wait until after this payoff pitch here on 3-2. Now that Panetta's morning is officially over and there's no runners for him that were stranded by him, it's totally done. We can check out his line. That one shied off the glove of D'Ambrosio up the middle. Going to be an easy base hit here for Yarborough. That hit his glove. D'Ambrosio had the reaction time. That just came in way too hot. And that'll bring in Casey Rigel, the starting right fielder. But as you said, if you'd like to talk Panetta's line really quick, you can.
Yeah, sure. Let's run through it. So let's see. 3 innings. Gave up 6 runs. And let me count through. He had 1, 2, 3, 4 walks. Hit by pitch.
Did they have that many hits on?
And then they had 4 hits last inning.
Interesting. All in that 1 inning. It was a destructible 3rd inning. Now Rigel's up, shoots that one down the third baseline. Stealing on the pitch was Yarborough, but he'll return.
Because through the first 2 innings, he had the 2 walks, the hit by pitch. The 3 walks, the hit by pitch, and the error.
Yeah, it was just a
stealing,
3rd inning.
The stealing, and he had the wild pitches where moving the runners and forced the run. I think he had 3 wild pitches through 2. Then obviously last inning, the hits came in, but
I believe at short is Castro for the Finest right now. I think Castro and Mejia just switched.
Again?
That one's outside, but stealing on the pitch was Yarborough. Coming out of nowhere was the shortstop, Castro, I believe, to throw down the tag, but Yarborough got under it. It looked like for a second Murawski was throwing it into no man's land because Sanchez wasn't there. But that was almost beautifully executed. Now it's a 1-1 count on Rigel. That one comes in behind Rigel. Good grab there by Murawski. I almost want to watch that one back. That was pretty incredible how Castro even got there.
Once it looked like he was going to secure the ball in, I thought they were going to be able to get the out.
That one catches the outside part of the zone. 2-2 count now on Rigel. That one got over the head of D'Ambrosio on the mound, but there wasn't any movement. Infield's playing straight up for the most part, other than Sanchez trying to hold on the runner. That one came in high on Rigel. Really a bold take with 2 strikes on him. D'Ambrosio looking to clean up here, get out of it unscathed. Runner in scoring position already. Sanchez still holding him there. A 3-2 pitch. Hopped backward. We're going to do it one more time. We're down to less than 25 minutes on the game timer. We're still in the 4th inning. We'll see how things go here. We'll see how many innings we make it.
Low-key makes the 6th inning feel a little less likely.
Things are getting less likely
originally planned.
Yeah. Taking longer and longer. Rigel thought about reaching low for that one, but he let the bouncing pitch come in for ball 4. On the bright side for the Finest, that creates a force on multiple bases. Yarborough on second, Rigel on first. That brings in the starting catcher and the catcher every other inning, Joey Stravino.
Stravino got caught looking his first time around.
As a lot of guys have today. That one is skied way high.
That's behind us.
An 0-1 count now. Sanchez still lingering around second, hold on Yarborough. Beverly holding on Rigel at first. No leads are allowed to get that long right now. The pitch from D'Ambrosio comes just outside, and that'll even the count at 1s for Stravino. Look at when you have both guys being held on at second and first. Look at that gap right now.
Yeah, you could basically hit it anywhere between first and second right now, and it'll be a hit.
At least Sanchez was recovering rather quickly, but
Both.
Beverly's not taking more than 2 steps off first base after he leaves it.
I was going to say, prior to that pitch, both the first baseman and the second baseman were standing on their base. Practically.
Yeah, Sanchez is like full-on sprinting towards his
I was
position.
just about to say, yeah, he's giving
But
himself a super hard time
On
here.
the other hand, like I said, Beverly is not moving far off first base, so there's still an incredibly large gap.
You see it on our screen. He is standing basically on second and then running to get himself into position.
That's what
When
you
it
gotta do
becomes
for the
clear that
runner.
the ball isn't coming his way.
3-1 pitch finds its way into the zone to even it out at a full count. We're still going to hold these runners on with a full count here to prevent any movement with 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from D'Ambrosio just misses the inside corner, and that'll walk these bases loaded. So the 9, 10, 11 all find their way on base after the leadoff hitter in the 8 hole was out on a ground out to start the inning. Here comes the 12 hitter Anthony Pignatello, the other catcher, following up Stravino. A clean count now for D'Ambrosio. First pitch is a ball. First baseman Beverly playing pretty in right now. They're looking for a double play ball, obviously. Pignatello without the batting gloves. Looking to avoid that, especially with the top of the lineup coming up in Chase Millen. Runners taken as much as they want on these bases. No one holding them there. Pignatello skies this one out into left center. No one can reach it in time. In fact, it bounces over the head of Castro out there. 1 run's in, 2 runs are in. A third runner rounding third. Stravino's going to stop there, and that'll be a 2-run double for Pignatello. That was skied rather deep out into left center, and it didn't help that it bounced over the head of Danny Castro, who came in a little hot on it. And 2 runs come in, leading to the leadoff hitter Chase Millen to add more to it.
It got through both the left fielder and the center fielder.
Yeah, Mejia tried closing in on that.
He came to back it up, and it got past him as well.
What a shot there by Pignatello. Brings in 2. This leads now 5 with the top of the order here. Catches the outside part of the zone, and Millen's down a strike. So 2 more in scoring position now. Stravino thought about crossing third to add to the score on that one, but with only 1 out, why risk it? But an 0-2 count very quickly here to the leadoff hitter and shortstop Chase Millen. Infield now backed up a little bit with runners on second and third. Millen shoots this one out to left field. That's fair. Castro picks it up after 1 hop. He's gunning it home now. It's going to be a play at the plate. No, it goes over Murawski's head. Not even close. They almost had a shot at bringing down Muratori, who was a pinch runner for Pignatello. Now they throw it to third. Millen slides in there safely. So Muratori comes in to score. Stravino comes in to score. And now up at the plate is Matthew Passantino, who they have very much struggled to get out today. A lot happening all at once Millen ends up on third at the end of that play. We could give him an RBI double of 2 RBIs there, and then the error got him to third. Now Passantino shoots it into the gap between first and second for another RBI knock. Passantino 3 for 3. And he came around to score on both of his first 2 appearances. That one brought in Millen. Millen did not stay on the bases for long. Got all the way to third, and then on the next pitch came in to score.
They are not giving the finest a second to breathe.
Yeah, everybody's coming up ready to hit. On one pitch, Passantino brings in another. And now it is 11-3. Now they're going to hold Passantino on at first. That's Beverly holding him there. Oh, they're going to try and pick him off, actually. To no success. Here's the first baseman, Zachary Flannery, for his third at-bat. Timeout called at the plate. Yeah, things are definitely slowing down here in terms of game time, but they're speeding up in terms of action. 5 runs tagged this inning. Passantino off on the pitch. Mirowski comes up to fire. Passantino didn't even slide there, so it was a closer play than it probably should have been. But on the bounce, he made it in safely. Castro and Sanchez, the middlemen out there in the infield, to close in on that one. Now another runner in scoring position. As we saw very early in this game, any single opportunity, they move the runner over with a steal. Mirowski's yet to find someone stealing. Flannery shoots this one in between first and second. A ball happened to fall onto the field when he did it. The umps don't freeze play, though. So the single advances Passantino over to third. I would have thought they would pause action there no matter what, but it seemed to be not a stoppage in play.
See, I mentioned it earlier. I was wondering what would happen.
Yeah, we were actually pondering what would happen if the ball came in mid-play. It landed about on the mound.
I guess because it wasn't near where the play was happening, I guess. You know what I mean? Like the ball was very clearly in the possession of the right fielder by the time the ball from the other field came in and went towards first.
Another ball just
As another ball flies
on around here.
Ooh, umpire bare hand catch. So
Get a replay of that.
the left fielder just threw it in, and the ump standing by the mound just bare
now
hand
stealing
caught
on
it.
the pitch is Flannery. That one comes in high. No movement from Urowski with a runner on third. It's an 8-run lead now for the Giants with 2 more runners in scoring position. Starting pitcher Driscoll looking to add. He's got an 8-run lead to work with. I would not be surprised if he continues going through this game strong on the mound. 15 minutes left. This next inning might be the last one. I predicted 6 a while back, but this last couple of innings have been quite extensive. Driscoll reaches low for that one, shoots it down the third baseline, just foul. Another ball, the third one in the last probably 2 minutes. Skies onto this field.
I don't want to jinx anything or bring up offending something, but you mentioned the innings left. The mercy rule is 10 after 4, isn't it?
I think that's accurate, yeah. So if
they score
any
2
of these
runs,
guys score? Or
yeah,
2 of them
there's
score?
runners on second and third, so
Yeah.
if these 2 runs come in, isn't that game?
Might be game, actually. Surprise mercy rule potentially out of nowhere?
That's what I
I
was
think they would
saying.
add 9 runs so far in these last 2 innings. Driscoll shoots this one high into center. Mejia is under that. He'll bring it in. We'll see if Passantino challenges him. He's going to stop midway down the line. A dart thrown in there by Mejia right into the chest of Mirowski at the plate. Almost a sac fly opportunity. They just need a little bit more on air on that from Driscoll. That'll bring up John Regazzi, the center fielder almost every other inning. So 5 runs tagged this inning already on D'Ambrosio. He was the second pitcher to come in for this game, hoping to hold on to the deficit that was already planted by Pineda. And he's unfortunately only doubled it. Early advantage here against Regazzi. Now second and third still with 0-1 count here.
Regazzi had the RBI single his last time around, and then he had the pop up to the pitcher his first time.
He shoots that one out to left. One in front of the left fielder, Castro. He's going to throw a dart into a challenging Flannery, who somehow dives over the tag from Mirowski. Another player where we thought a player would be gunned. That was a flash play at the plate. A one-hop throw out there from Castro. Mirowski just didn't get it down in time. Let's look back at this dive from Flannery. Look at this. It's in the hands of Castro about 15 feet behind Flannery on third base. Flannery is way behind this throw. Let's see where the tag didn't get down. Let's see. Is there
Oh,
contact
wow.
there? No, it doesn't look like it. Flannery touches the bottom of the plate, and that's going to be a mercy rule. Flannery wanted to challenge it to end this game, and the third base coach successfully ends it. What a photo finish to this game, despite the 10-run lead. But
He
you
really
love
did
to
get
watch
around
that
that.
instant replay. Wow, what a dive by Flannery. That's the second
was
swing move
crazy.
we saw in this game.
The catcher
Proved
was
successful.
waiting for him at home plate.
What a play. Flannery's going to have to look at that one back. And Flannery, if you do watch this later, I want to credit that swing move. What a play to end this game. So the Giants prevail 13-3 in just 4 innings. The Finest did not get to make it to 5. We only had about 15 minutes on that game timer anyway, so there probably was only going to be one more inning after that. But what a mercy rule effort there by the Giants. Put up 4 in the third and then another 7, I believe,
Yeah,
in the
7
fifth.
in this
in the
fourth
fourth, yeah. What a performance by the Giants. The Finest came out to play as well. The beginning of this game was rather close, but once Driscoll laid his hands down on that pedal on the mound, and then this offense really came to life in the third and fourth inning for the Giants. Coach is going to love that performance, and we'll see if we can get anyone in this booth. I'm sure the Giants would love to come talk. We shall see. But thank you all for tuning in. I've been Frank LaBella alongside Nick LaBella. A 13-3 win for the Giants over the Finest in 14U ball here. We'll see what happens next here at Lasorda Legacy Park. We wish both teams the best of luck in the future in this tournament. But we thank you all for tuning in tonight, all right? Have a good one.